There, isn't it? Let's have a look through the papers for you this morning with theologian Vicky Beeching and the deputy editor of the Express, Michael Booker. Good to see you, as always. We'll kick off, Vicky, with you, should we? And the perfect wedding.
Yeah, so this is Rowan Williams, the former Archbishop of Canterbury, and he was speaking at a debate in London about marriage. And I'm sure we'd all agree that planning weddings is quite a big task. But he's saying with this big rise in celebrity-style weddings, the glamour, the expectations, that actually it's got to a point financially and emotionally where it's putting so much pressure on people that it's actually really damaging the relationships, and it's kind of advocating this fairy tale day, which he said is actually detracting from the reality of marriage, the day in, day out.
Drudgery.
Cold, hard reality, you know. So he's basically
Mrs.
saying
Booker.
I can say that this time.
Is
She's
she
not up for this
watching?
one.
Is the question. She's just switched off, I bet.
I mean, do you think there's a fair point that there's too much focus on this fairy tale day and not enough focus on actually being together, just proper married life?
I think so, and I think the whole celeb wedding thing, where it's kind of this huge deal, huge budget, it can put so much strain, and Rowan Williams was saying that actually getting through the ordeal of planning the wedding and surviving it takes a massive toll on the couple.
Hasn't the perfect wedding, before the celebrity age or whatever, hasn't the perfect wedding been the thing anyway?
I think he's saying it's gone to a whole new level.
Yeah, because you don't really see as many celebrity weddings anymore if you think about it. There's not as many in the magazines anymore. The market seems to have gone a little bit for it.
Do you think social media, though, has kind of taken it to another level? Like we get this window on the lives of these
well, possibly you see them doing it all the time, whereas it's not just the wedding, you want the entire lifestyle. I think that's the problem. You want all the lifestyle after the wedding. You think it's going to last forever, and it never does.
But I think there always has been this build-up to the big day. You know, you have little girls dreaming of the perfect white dress and not of the sort of 30 years of marriage.
And little boys.
So true, so true.
I'm not sure they dream of the perfect white dress.
If I was getting married, I'd want it to be a very small affair, just with family and things.
You see,
when
we got married...
But there's no chance of me getting married, so it's fine, it's not going to happen.
So me and the missus just snuck off to Sicily with our son and did it very quietly, and, it was a lot... without the fuss of it all. It was just quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a child as well at the time. And she was pregnant with the second one. So
well, that's disgraceful.
Thing is, when you've
but
got
it was a lot simpler
family, when you've got a massive family, you can't really
no,
do
exactly,
that
you
thing
can
on
up to people,
as I couldn't.
So they still use the phrase living over the brush in the northeast, like,
I'm ashamed of myself.
From days gone by. I'm only joking. Let's have a look at Francois Hollande in The Guardian. I mean, on lots of papers this morning.
Yeah, well, it's been an excuse for a lot of British papers to put a picture of a good-looking French woman on the front page, and the Telegraph and the Times have gone for that. The Guardian have got it on page 3 as well, talking about... What they're talking about is these allegations about Francois Hollande. They're going on the sympathy in France for it, and obviously with their privacy law, whether or not a story is true or not, it's illegal to invade personal privacy, and that's been for years and years and years. And they're just saying now, all the French, even... some of his extreme enemies, Marie Le Pen, leader of the Front National, the right-wing group, said everyone has the right to have their private life respected as long as it doesn't cost the taxpayer a centime. And I think that seems to be what a lot of the French are saying.
It's interesting, you don't have centimes in France anymore.
Exactly. Well, yes,
spotted.
to coin a phrase, literally. But no, they're all very, very sympathetic. And I remember seeing on Sky yesterday some of the interviews with people in the street in France were very poor-faced about, we're not interested in this at all. And it's very different to how we would treat it, because even if there was a whiff of an allegation about the British Prime Minister, everyone would be...
Very different.
We wouldn't be doing this now. It'd be live outside of Downing Street, and the French media would be there as well, I'm sure.
It's funny how that agenda changes country to country. We're having quite a sort of marriage theme this morning. I don't know if you two have got a bit of what's going on. It's not your anniversary, Michael, is it? Or Vicky, have you got something that we need to know about?
Absolutely nothing.
But we're talking about now. We did this yesterday, and lovely, lovely Jessica Ennis-Hill and Andy, her husband, expecting a child.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic news. She said it's unexpected, but they are very, very excited. And she's also said that she plans to be back for Rio in 2016 and wants to aim again for another gold. So I'm delighted for her. I think she brightened up our lives so much, didn't she, with her just Olympic spirit. And I'm also excited to see her as a woman who wants to pursue having a family and continuing with a career. And a lot of women come under fire for that. But I think she should be celebrated. I know lots of people that would kind of criticise, saying if you're going to be a mum, you have to leave those things behind. But I think she's a real kind of feminist inspiration in saying that you can have kids, you can dream about career. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can actually aspire to do both.
Well, and often it enhances your parenting. I mean, you know, not everybody's made to be a stay-at-home mum, and actually you need that extra element to your life. But her predecessor, Denise Lewis, she also went back very shortly after having a child. So it's, I mean, it's possible.
She did, and I saw her interview on Sky, and Denise was saying that it was really difficult emotionally and physically, and that it is something you have to bear in mind. You know, that there's so much change to navigate, but I just think if anyone could do it, Jessica can. She's obviously very tenacious, and I think she's going to make a great mum.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it? I like it. I like a sort of jolly story like that because I'm a big softy, really. I try to be a rough old hat. I'm a big softy underneath it all. Mind you, my hack instincts are rising with this next story in the Telegraph, Michael. Pupils need to be taught about gambling.
Yeah, well, this is something.
Lessons.
Well, I'm out of the man club. I think I've been in a bookmaker's once in my life because they're scary and intimidating places. But this is Professor Mark Griffiths, the director of the International Gaming Research Unit at Nottingham Trent University. Now, he says large numbers of under-16s are getting hooked on games through playing not gambling, but games that have a similar mechanism on social media and things like that. And he's saying that it's something he's always wanted to keep away from, but he says because it's so prevalent these days and it's getting kids into gambling, that he says that, I've always said that gambling and gaming is off the radar, but teachers should start talking about these things and they should explore the mechanics of gambling and the fact that more people lose than win. But I think if I'd learned about gambling when I was a kid, I mean, this may be different for other people, if I'd learned about it, you learn how to do it properly, and you learn about betting and odds and things like that, and that might have encouraged me to get involed with it, because I like to have the mystery of not knowing, and that keeps me well away from it. Whereas I think I can see why he's saying that people try and...
Is it not slightly comparable to sex education, though, in schools, that you just need to kind of to be prepared for life so that you know how to handle it
well, true, but...
he's saying in here, actually, that they would teach that more people lose than win. So perhaps if you had a really good grasp of the stats of gambling from a really young age and the unlikelihood, you know, you're probably more likely to be hit by a bus than to win the lottery.
Do kids need to be absolutely spoon-fed on every single issue that they're going to face in life?
And the thing is, my sex education at school was involving test tubes and biology, and that was it. It didn't actually go any further than that.
You've done okay.
No practicals. No, I know, it's a shame. I need to revise that. Lovely, we've got more papers heading away in just a moment. Stay with us. So we're looking at the papers with Michael and with Vicky. Look, if you like these sort of really fancy apartment blocks and things, and lots of people do, these are another glamorous one. Look at that sort of thing you see in Canary Wharf, isn't it? But fancy living at the top of that, Michael, but having your car, you're having a garage sort of next to your flat.
They look glamorous, don't they, to certain people, but I don't know, would you want to live there? It becomes a bit, I don't know, they're just like very posh.
They're a bit pokey.
Yeah, they look a bit scary, don't they? Vicky, would you like to live in a place like that?
I think it would be absolutely amazing. I did live in the States for 8 years, and I saw these kind of things beginning to emerge. And this is basically a drive-in flat for the penthouse, so you don't have to park anywhere. You drive in, it takes you up. And your car parking space, if you can see that picture right at the top, is actually next to your living room, so you can see your car.
What about the fumes?
The thing is, you couldn't get out quickly, could you?
True, and if the lift broke...
Well, you could do.
How? Well, yeah, but I don't think you'd live to tell the tale.
I think a lot of people that own very expensive cars in the States love this kind of concept because you literally, you know, if you spent that much money on a car, you could actually sit there eating your dinner, watching TV and gaze at your beloved sports car.
They look a bit soulless, them places. They don't. They cost millions and millions of pounds. And,
I agree.
They just look like lonely. And there's a load of chairs in there. No one's ever going to sit on them. You never have anyone over. You wouldn't want anyone getting other place dirty, would you?
There you go.
I think it represents a sad and empty life. I think that's what you're saying.
I'd like the money to have such a sad and empty life, yes, obviously.
You want bricks in a garden.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
Things to fix.
I'm with you on that. We're out of time, I'm afraid. We shall see you both in an hour for more. Look forward to that. But a quick check on the sports headlines with Charlie.